It's 12 noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West.
And this is Reprint.
This isn't breaking headlines. This is a second look with context added for perspective.
This is Reprint, edited after the headlines.
All right. Good morning on the West Coast. Good afternoon on the East Coast. This is the Reprint, and I am Christal Jordan Jennings. I am the editor-in-chief for Lenox Parker, and I'm here, of course, with my co-host,
Victor Flavius. What's going on? What's happening, Christal? How you doing?
I am bubbly but extremely tired. It is Friday. I am exhausted. As you know, I got back yesterday evening. I was supposed to get back yesterday morning from LA. Got back yesterday evening. Good morning, Edna. Good morning, everybody watching on YouTube and also Instagram. So I got back in late last night, and I did not really get I was jet lagged, so I'm getting up I'm a little discombobulated today. I don't like taking quick trips to LA. I don't like that. I like to either, at least I think 4 days is good, but
a week is good. Yeah.
Well, a week is great, but coming in Tuesday and leaving on Thursday, and I actually left my hotel at
3 a.m.
3 a.m., but I didn't get to Atlanta because I had plane delays and a lot of drama. I didn't get home until 8, and then I ate, and I just kind of laid out. I could not go to sleep. Because I've been in the airport. I just, I couldn't unwind. I actually watched Relationship Goals with Kelly, Jesus Christ. Kelly from Destiny's Child. Kelly Rowland.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly
Rowland
and Method Man.
Was it good?
It was very cute. It was very cute because you guys know this is Valentine's Day weekend. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yes.
Valentine's Day, Victor. From me to you.
Yes.
Yeah. I can hear you. Do you have any plans for this weekend?
Me? No, not at all. No.
Well, with your wife. You better do something special with your wife today, Victor. Or this weekend.
Probably, yeah.
Don't say probably.
No, I know. I'm just yeah. I haven't had plans yet because we've been doing a lot this last couple of days, so I haven't had a chance to stop and refocus. Yeah, yesterday I was busy running around doing stuff too, so I got in pretty late, and so.
Well, I'm just telling you, you're gonna have to do something. I don't want to be the cause.
No. I'll do something, but I'm just saying, I didn't make the initial plan. What is today's date, anyways?
Today is the 13th.
Okay, yeah. My cousin's birthday, yeah.
Whose birthday?
My cousin, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we want to say happy Valentine's Day to all of you out there.
To all, yes.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day to all. And, it's not even really, it really should just be about love.
Honestly, yeah.
Right? So it's the fact that we are living, and we are living and we have an opportunity to keep moving forward. So that is the beauty of today. It's also still Black History Month, although we have decided to make this just a way of life. There's no such thing as Black History Month. It should just be the way that we live and the way that we carry ourselves, because we know that our history our history cannot and will not be confined to one day. No. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, we are gonna have a few. It's gonna be a show. It's gonna be a show. It's gonna be a show. There's a lot going on.
Yes, yes, Edna. Yes.
Yes, it's a lot going on. You guys know we shared that we went to the Lenox Parker sponsored the soul comedy show for the Pan-African Film Festival. and it was an amazing night.
Yes, it was.
I guess we were at the Miracle Theater.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, the historic site.
Is it really?
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay, I know that it was in Inglewood.
Yeah,
and I think Inglewood as I just think of like Snoop and Dre and all that talking about Inglewood, California, and all that good stuff.
Inglewood is one of the it's a historic area for Blacks, and also has like one of the wealthiest groups of Blacks in the country too, as well.
Really? I did not know that. Yeah, I did not know that. Well, I'm trying. You guys forgive my slides. You know that hey. But the comedy show was packed out. It was a great time. In addition to the comedy show, there we are that night on the red carpet. I'm not crazy about that photo, but that's the best we could pull together in such a short time. So that is Victor Tony Rock, who was the host of the event. He did a great job, and he also did a really on-spot imitation of his brother, which I thought was hilarious. Because, you know, he was like, people came out and they were probably thinking that Chris Rock might be there. And he was like, he ain't coming to Inglewood. And it was funny. But then we also we got a chance to sit down with the legend, Tommy Davidson. There we are talking. We had an amazing conversation. Can't wait to share that.
Yeah, we'll have that. Yeah.
Site. It was a great conversation. Just he's definitely a legend. Yeah. So down to earth and has such a wonderful perspective.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy. So that night, like I said, we presented Daphne Springs, who is a up and coming comedian. There is our digital cover for Black History Month right there with Daphne Springs. And we presented this to her that night. The beautiful thing about this is that we really talked about, Victor, you and I talked about how, you know, last year was difficult. This year started difficult. So we wanted to have cover someone on the cover that represented the opposite of that. And so a comedian was the perfect choice. And Daphne she's one of those people I've seen in her comments. And actually when I interviewed her, she said so many people told her that her skits and her comedic, you know, how she showed up on social media really helped them through COVID. I know a lot of people, most of us during COVID, because we could not get out and actually see people and talk to people, laughter was really, really important. And so I think comedians and people that could tap into that did very well. Their audiences grew, you know, during that time. And I think a lot of people became huge fans of Daphne. She's went on to tour with, she did a show with Kevin Hart, and then she's touring, opening up for Martin Lawrence. And so she's definitely co-signed by the greats. And she just has, you know, and I love female comedies. I mean, female comedians. I think we have far fewer female comedians than male, but I think that just the whole scope of everything is changing. So we get more female comedians. And so Daphne is definitely well deserving of this cover. Is basically positioning her as a superhero because of her ability to bring laughter. And we know that laughter has the ability to heal. And so we got a chance to present that to her at the show. What was your best takeaway from the show?
Tony Rock. He was really good. Yeah. No, overall the entire show, I judge things based upon like the whole experience. So the ambiance was good. The crowd was very responsive. The crowd was a little bit older than I expected, but it was mature and seasoned. The jokes were all hitting. Every comedian came out connected with the audience. It didn't take a while to warm up. It wasn't no booing or whatever. The stage was beautiful. The location was great. It was a historic downtown Inglewood spot. So it was really good. I mean, it was overall, the experience felt Black. It felt historic. It felt Black history. It felt Pan-African Film Arts Festival-ish. So yeah, I gave it a 10 out of 10. It was good. Yeah.
I think Tony Rock is. I really wish we could have gotten an entire set from him. But I think, having someone like him co-sign the other comedians definitely helped. Finesse, I enjoyed Finesse.
Yeah, he was good.
Finesse was great. It's interesting seeing people that you've watched for years. Finesse has a long career in comedy. Also, Tommy Davidson, that sitting down with him probably was my highlight, just because that conversation and having the opportunity to really talk to him and hear his take on a lot of the things he's done in the past. He also is very candid about his history. If you guys have heard of, have had a chance to hear his story, he was adopted by a white family, and so he grew up with, I'm sure you can imagine a lot of identity issues just by being the Black kid in a white family in a very white environment, and then later, being reacclimated with his culture. Just very interesting, and I think made for probably, I believe that most people that are comedians, specifically at that level, they have gone through some type of hardship, and it probably shaped their ability to look at things a certain way. Another highlight was when I asked Tony Rock, because we were talking, a lot of us were talking about, just kind of backstage talking about the Epstein news, because things were coming in on our phones. Beeps were coming in about what was happening, and saw some very disturbing news came in. And so I asked him, how can he see, because he says he sees every tragedy as like, he sees the humor in it. And I was like, well, how do you see humor in the Epstein files? He was like, are you kidding me? This is hilarious. This is hilarious. And the fact that our president of the United States is involved, and he's okay, he's chilling. He's like, if this is Obama, the very fact that America is so hypocritical is hilarious. And I was like, okay, Tony, that's how you see it. But he was like, yes, this is so funny. And it says it gives them material, and I know it does. And I think that material and hearing them be able to switch it around is interesting. So, and I think it's needed, I know Dave Chappelle puts out things,
he's more shock-jockish kind of.
Yeah, he talks about a lot of political. He's like a political person. Cat Williams as well. I know. Yeah. I'm going to go see Cat Williams at the end of the month. But anyways, just want to love on our comedians. We had an opportunity to do that this weekend. But we're right back into negativity.
The thick of it. Yes. Oh, right back into it.
The news, which is usually negative, at least right now. So we have Minnesota officials are reacting as Fed announced ICE surge is ending. Federal authorities announced that Operation Metro Surge, a large-scale immigration enforcement deployment involving thousands of ICE, Border Patrol, and federal agents in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, are winding down and ending after months of controversy, protests, and deadly confrontations. The Trump administration's border czar said the drawdown reflects successful results, while Minnesota officials emphasize recovery and ongoing concerns about the operation's impact. The biggest impact is that people were unalived, and
that's
I don't
sad.
really understand what is the fascination with Minneapolis. I really don't understand why that.
I don't think we're gonna know until elections come around again. There's more to it than just. There's more. There's more to. I mean, the governor Tim Walz has been, at odds with the president and his administration. So we know the president. He does things petty. He's very petty about things. So he holds grudges. And so if you say something against him, look what happened to Don Lemon. Anyone who speaks against him, at some point somewhere, that seems to happen. So I think there's a lot more political stuff behind the scenes that we might not know about. I think that's going on there. But to have 3,000 agents on the ground when there's only about 600 police in that state, that's a huge, that's a big gap of, it doesn't add up, right?
Sense, right?
Yeah, And that doesn't call. It's not like they had a war and had to like send troops in to like bring it down. This is agitated efforts by the administration to. I think they said they try to get 4,000 illegal immigrants or illegal whatever from Minnesota, and I think they did their job. So that's what they said. Numbers came in, and they're backing down, and they're pulling out. So unfortunately, 2 lives were lost, and many others wounded and affected, and families torn apart, and it's just disarray. So still praying for the people of Minneapolis.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Hopefully we won't get another. Hopefully this will slow down. It's stopped. So I think the midterm elections are definitely causing a lot of this disarray. Yeah. We understand, but I'm hoping that Minneapolis will be the end. That'll be the worst. I'm hoping that will be the worst. It will not be. We won't have more coming after this.
I hate that a person had to be, 2 people had to die for it to be the worst, or for this to come to this place in our history in America. I know it's not going to end right there, but I know right now the Senate, they're fighting to get it changed, and they're talking about a shutdown right now in government. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens. They're trying to get body cams on most of the agents. I'll see if that happens, but for the most part, this is not ending right here. Just this chapter ending, mm-hmm. and they hope that Americans forget. So when they move into the next city or next state, that it blows up again. So yeah, because it happened in California, it happened in New York, it happened in Chicago, then it went to Minnesota, Minneapolis. So we'll see who's next and where it goes next. But it's only happening in blue states, from what I see.
So far,
not happening in Florida. It didn't happen in Tennessee. It didn't happen, so it was like, okay,
right,
yeah.
Ooh, well, I like I said, I know that I know there's been reports about ICE being here. I'm not sure how they're being tipped off or how that's working or why. I mean, how are they able? I'm sure they're able to see. I mean, we all know our phones are everything is all intertwined, but it's interesting how certain populations they, I guess, perceive as being more integrated with immigrants and have targeted certain areas,
Yeah.
Obviously, as I said, we got to the comedy show, this Jeffrey Epstein situation. It just is I don't know what this is. It continues. It's high profile resignations and replacements are happening left and right as the Epstein case fallout spreads. Newly released Jeffrey Epstein files from the U.S. Justice Department are triggering major fallout across Europe's political and diplomatic class, leading to resignations, investigations, and scandals among prominent leaders, diplomats, and royals whose ties to Epstein were revealed. Even though most are not accused of sex crimes themselves, we still see a lot of, just huge numbers of CEOs and people resigning. Kathy Rumler, the chief legal officer and general counsel of Goldman Sachs, has announced she will resign from her role effective June 30th. There's also I saw numerous CEOs over the weekend, and it's crazy. It says she served as Goldman chief's legal officer and general counsel since 2020, and previously was White House counsel under President Barack Obama. This is the thing that is interesting to me. We see former UK ambassador Peter Mandelson was fired. Mm-hmm. Faces an investigation. Crown Princess Mette Marit of Norway, former Prince Andrew. That made a lot of got a lot of news. And
movies too. I think they made like a couple of like biopics on the situation.
But if there's really nothing to this, there's obviously a lot to this that's very damaging, because for these resignations to happen so quickly after this information has been leaked, it proves that, first of all, Europe responds a lot differently than America. Unlike here, Epstein revelations have so far produced more muted official fallout. European media, political culture, and the public have pushed aggressively for accountability once connections were revealed in the files. Just connections. Where here in the United States, we're like, well, let's wait and see exactly what has
maybe
happened.
he didn't really do that. Maybe, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting how Europe and I would expect Europe to be more closely related to the United States than other countries, but for them to have such swift responses to those names.
The UK? You mean the UK? Yeah.
What? Right. But I'm saying like different. I just didn't expect them to respond so quickly when we're used to, like I said, just kind of waiting things out or just covering things up. I mean, this Epstein case started years ago, and there's still, and there's been names mentioned, and there's, I mean, the president of the United States, to Tony Rock's point, is still president.
He's been mentioned 1,000 times, 1,000 times, and what's crazy is that this is blown up around the world. 3.5 million files released, and they're still going through it, and they're still, pulling pieces and parts, and there's so much integration from him buying Jeffrey, allegedly buying gas and doing this, and on the island, and who's on the flag lights, who's on the flight logs, and who's on the island, and who had a conversation, and who emailed, and a lot of it. And then they have just general, what do you call it? FBI files dump into it. So it's a mess. It's a real mess. So we'll keep watching and see what they're saying. But all these countries, I mean, if it wasn't a big deal, you wouldn't have heads of states and corporations stepping down and resigning.
Stepping down.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And then we saw yesterday the DOJ, head of DOJ was testifying in Congress, and that we haven't even covered that. That was heated and crazy, and she was just going on like a spoiled brat. But that was Kristi Noem's yesterday.
And then I saw, while we were out in LA, I saw Chrissy Teigen, and I guess reports are alleging that her and John Legend are splitting. But there was a lot of like
really
tweets that were coming out about Pizzagate, a lot of things that have been like rumors that have been swirling around that are kind of connected to this. But they are uncovering people's tweets, and it's so crazy how people will be involved in things that are like this, and people always leave evidence. There's always little pieces of just the fact there are so many pictures is crazy to me, that you would be involved in doing illegal, beyond illegal and just disgusting things, right? And that hurt other people, and that would be pictures being taken during this time, because like we've seen pictures with Jeffrey Epstein and so many, not just celebrities, but officials and government people involved in government. And I'm thinking, like, if people are doing things that you don't want to get out, why are we posing for photos? It's very strange. Who is taking these photos? Like, who was taking all these pictures there? Because there's a lot of documentation, and a lot of the pictures even have been redacted. So you'll see some, a couple of celebrities and someone's face blacked out. Like, it's just, I don't know. Is that weird? Am I crazy? Like, wow.
No, we got in today's time, we got to be careful who we take pictures with and where we stand and who we stand next to, and because we don't know.
Behavior that you would be taking photos, because Jeffrey Epstein is in quite a few photos.
Well, I mean, his job. What was his job? If his job was to be, the person to go in and ruin companies and whatever, I don't know what they're allegedly saying his job was, but if his job was to do those things, then he would have to. It would be smart to take a picture with everyone, just in case something comes up or happens. You can divert the information, because even with last week we talked about Jay-Z and Jay-Z and what's the other guy's name? No, the other rapper, Pusha T.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, it came out that it wasn't anything there, but that was in a news cycle for about 2 weeks. People were wondering why, how, and then you look at the information, and it's like, well, the information they got on Jay-Z came back in 89. Jay-Z wasn't even nobody in 89. That was when 1999, right before 9/11 happened.
Well, I wouldn't say, I think, but see, I still don't know. I still, seeing that those pictures of him and Harvey, I was reminded by several colleagues that they did have a strong relationship.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
It's a lot that just feels like it was hiding in plain sight. A lot of things are hiding in plain sight, but we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about this for weeks to come. So we're going to pivot back to our Black businesses today, because we have a very special segment coming up in just a minute. We're going to talk about sports, and we have a former pro football player, because we thought it would be great to bring in a actual professional athlete who now does sports. He's going to be joining us in just a second, but I want to, first of all, we know it's Valentine's Day. Today is actually part of still Galentine's Day. And one of our Black businesses of the day is Dear Alpha Female. This is the book that I wrote back in 2023 for women that are career women that may be struggling with finding love. You guys, if you remember, I went on Iyanla Vanzant's show because I was struggling when it came to love. I was definitely struggling, not struggling when it came to love, but when it came to, I guess, romantic love. I was single for quite a few years, and I really do think there's a different dynamic to women dating when they are career women. It's a different dynamic, but I think everybody wants love, and you have to be able to figure out what you're doing that may be keeping that from coming to you. I think all of our issues, whatever your issue is, it always starts with you. So if you are a career woman, or a career woman, and she, may need something to kind of help give her a push, I would definitely suggest picking up this book. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere at Walmart.com, any of the places you get books. But this is an interactive devotional designed to help you attract the love you deserve. It's not just about, it's really not even about the significant other. It's really about what can you do to make sure that when love shows up, you are ready, you recognize it, and are able to appreciate it and stand in accountability on your own, because I think accountability is extremely important when it comes to love. So that is that. But we also have our Black business, another Black business of the day is actually Loyal Hosiery Nude. And this company is founded by Dominique Leonard. She's actually one of the cast members on Ready to Love Detroit. There she is with her daughters. And they have she has a hosiery company. And these hose, as you guys see on the ladies there, they have, the tagline is "Go Nude Effortlessly." They're pantyhose, but they actually are created to just wear, to look like more like your leg, right? To just like almost like Photoshop, on your leg. These nude hose are committed to enhancing your style and comfort. We focus on creating solutions that empower individuals to feel confident in their skin. If you guys are interested in getting a pair, or getting a pair for someone else, you can go to loyalhoserienude.myshopify.com. We'll put that in the chat so that you guys can go over if you're interested, especially if you are a woman that still wants to wear like short skirts, and things like that. I know Victor and any guys watching are like, what? But for ladies, if you want to wear like short skirts or shorts even, but not have your not appear like your legs are just all out. And there's still a little bit of class to that. You could put a pair of these hose on, and it definitely adds a little bit of class to the way you are dressed. So I just sent that over to you, Victor, so we can post that.
Okay.
Post the link in the chat there. But the ladies look great. I love that dress that Dominique has on, and that gives you the opportunity to wear what you wear. Be a little sexy sometimes. Get a pair of Loyal Hosiery nude stockings, and put on your little short dress and go out for Valentine's Day weekend, right?
Let me pull it up.
Yeah. So you guys, please patronize Dominique Leonard. We love the fact that she was on Basketball Wives. Now she's on Ready to Love Detroit. But most importantly, she's a female entrepreneur. And I know a lot of women were asking this season about her pantyhose that she had on. She wore them all the time. She did a great job of promoting. But those are our two Black businesses for the day. And so now we are going to take a pivot. We at Lenox and Parker are looking to move more into sports, and to make sure that we're covering that, because sports is a big part of pop culture. And so we want to bring on our a guest commentator today. He is a good friend of mine. He is also a former Atlanta Falcons player, and he also currently is a commentator with his own podcast called Bottom Line Burke. Please help me welcome my friend Jamal Burke to the Reprint.
Hello,
Jamal.
Christal. How you doing, Victor?
Welcome. Hey, good, Jamal. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Yes, great to have you. You know what? I think, Victor, we were probably like a week off. We probably should have had Jamal on for
Super Bowl, yeah.
After Super Bowl. So with that being said, Jamal, what's your take? Because, you know, with you being former pro football player and also doing a lot of commentating on sports, what's just your quick thoughts on the Super Bowl this year?
I was really happy for Sam Darnold as well with the Seattle Seahawks. He came in as a high draft pick and then basically was a journeyman. And to have him appear in the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl, I just think it provides hope for everybody who's been doubted, dismissed, and just didn't meet expectations initially, but just kept believing in themselves and working hard. And he was able to, win a Super Bowl. But all in all, I was happy for the Patriots. As you know, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, you are? What part?
Brockton, Massachusetts, if you're familiar.
Oh, Brockton. Okay. Of course.
Yeah. But originally from Roxbury, you know, you want to talk
about the berry. Of course.
Yeah, so it was good to see them back in a familiar spot in the Super Bowl. And Mike Vrabel, I just love him. I think he's a perfect fit for Boston and for the Patriots. So I know I know Bad Bunny, you know, some people loved it, some people didn't. I definitely enjoyed it, especially in today's climate. But so we're gonna see what happens next year, but it was a good ending to a fantastic NFL season.
It was, yeah.
I
wish the Patriots played better, but you know, hey, next time.
Yeah, Drake made the quarterback. He openly confessed in the semifinals round that it was too difficult. It was the challenge was too difficult then. So I knew in a Super Bowl, then it was going to be completely overwhelming. There's no way he was going to have the mental fortitude to require to bounce back and lead his team to victory. So, but it's a first year, great experience, and let's just see psychologically if he's able to bounce back and become stronger and get his team back there in the future.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Well, we said we wanted to kind of pivot into sports a little bit stronger, because a lot of the stories that are mainstream pop culture recently have really focused on sports. And so just speaking about Super Bowl, a lot of people were watching. I think between Bad Bunny and one of the romances going on with one of the players on the Patriots was definitely taking over a lot of headlines outside of the game. We saw Cardi B was actually a part of Bad Bunny's performance, right? And up until now, we've seen a lot of press showing that Cardi B was dating NFL star, Patriots star Stephon Diggs. And there was dissension there at the game. So we saw that he actually showed him interacting with a young lady. We saw Cardi B performing. And then I think a lot of people were thinking, oh, wow, we're looking forward to seeing, is she comforting him after the loss? But it was announced that the two of them have split ways. Cardi B basically announced that she was single, and fans noticed that they unfollowed each other on Instagram after the Patriots Super Bowl loss, and that the pair had recently broken up. We know that they have a little boy that they just had together in November. I guess my question to you, actually, let me read this funny, because 50 Cent made a hilarious remark saying, dang, he just lost the Super Bowl in his relationship. Man, basically laughing and saying, Stephon Diggs was having the worst day of his life, losing the game and his girl. But let me ask you, just as a former player, how distracting are things like that when you're on the field and you're playing? I'm not saying that the breakup affected Stefan's performance, because I wouldn't be able to say that. But I'm assuming that has to, because there's so much attention, placed on high profile players, their relationships, what's going on. We see what's happening with Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, like that becomes almost as big as their game performance, people wanting to know what's going on with their relationships. Do you think that was a distraction for Stefan? Because not only did he have Cardi B, but there were other young ladies there. How does that play into a player's performance on the field?
Yeah, I think with Stefan Diggs, he does a phenomenal job of compartmentalizing. And I think, when you're playing on the highest platform like the Super Bowl, I think that's just requires the ultimate focus, which I think he definitely demonstrated that. Now, once the game's over, reality still hits. And I just think that, man, what a massive either miscommunication or hard truths on both Cardi B's part as well as Stefan Diggs. If what was alleged is true and accurate with respects to he had allegedly one of his baby mothers and one of his children in the front seat. And simultaneously, as we all know, this entire season, Cardi B's been his biggest cheerleader, has been very vocal publicly. She's been beaming over Stefan Diggs, defending him at every turn and nook and cranny. And she even talked about how she spent $1.2 million to fly in family members, and she's going to throw a party for them, and all of these beautiful things that we will all love. all to find out that you got your baby's mama and a child in the front seat. How you gonna do that? How you gonna? Even David Blaine can't pull that one off, right? Like, I just think that either he's cold-blooded like that with the women, or it's just, again, a massive miscommunication, because I just don't see how you are able to do that when, again, Cardi B has publicly been very vocal by his side about that. But, the devil's is always in the details, meaning, we don't know what's happening behind closed door and what that arrangement was. And that was also just a tough situation for Cardi B to enter into, if, not even if, it's now happened. He had 4 kids last year.
That's what I was gonna say. He had 4 children last year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's gotta be, I would think that would pull on your mental ability to perform on the field, because those relationships are complicated regardless of how they're created. And I also want to ask you, like, I saw that a while ago, his teammates were asked, on your team, who's the person that you would not want to date your sister? And
right.
Stefan was named by several people. So and also I had some insider information that it was one of the children's mother and another woman that he had been romantically linked with were both there at the Super Bowl. And
one of the ladies allegedly was that he gave DAP to was Offset's, Cardi B's ex, or I don't know what the legal situation as far as a divorce, if it's finalized or not, but that was one of his alleged jump offs, right? Somebody he was intimate with sexually. So for Diggs to do that, it just adds salt in that wound for Cardi B. And, you only have the capacity to take so much.
Yeah.
That's just a very tricky dynamic over there.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand. What is the end goal for Stefan Diggs? I mean, you have 4 kids in 1 year. Like, how many does he have in total? 10, 11, 12? What is it?
I don't know the total, Victor, quite frankly, but I just think it's just the time of season of his life, right? I could speak very comfortably when you are an all-pro wide receiver, which he is. Okay. You attract all types of women. And I remember vividly when I was living that lifestyle as well, you have mothers. Get this, Victor. You have a mother show up with her daughter to give to you, to present to you like you're a royal prince or something after practice, at Flavius Branch. He has the means, he has the pedigree, he has the credentials, and he clearly got the mouthpiece in game, to say the right things to these women to make them to make them want to do whatever he wants them to do. And so I just think that he's only like 32, 33, if my memory's correct. So it's just that part of a life that he hasn't demonstrated that he wants to do any type of real seriously commitment long term. And when you just dealing with a lot of different women, you know, things happen. And clearly, yeah, that's just his situation right now.
I mean, I get that part, but I'm saying, like, doesn't he have like damage control or like a publicist or a team that would like keep that?
With that?
I mean, I know
that's a
I'm
Christal.
saying like
if you start talking about that, that's a Christal. That's a Christal.
No,
question,
I'm saying like a team that would like insulate all that. Like, okay, this is just not getting out in the public. We're gonna keep this on the wraps, and here's the paperwork to sign, and you know.
I would say it's no way to do that, because whenever you're involving, they would have to get each and every woman that he's interacting with under the same agreement. And you know, when it comes to matters of the heart or lust, love or lust, there are no rules, you know. And so I think it would be people's feelings get hurt or pride gets injured. And I think that's an issue. I think what I'm interested in hearing and us having a conversation about is the fact that we see a lot of athletes. Are we putting athletes in positions to where they are ill prepared to deal with that, with everything that comes with that? I mentioned Jamal wanted you to come on last week after we saw this situation with James Pierce, who's Atlanta Falcons hopeful. And you know, over here in this house, we're big Falcons fans. So so upset when he was hearing about this, with him being first of all being arrested and trying to run from the police. Just can you talk a little bit about that situation, and then kind of speak on how is this? How do we see this consistently happening with athletes? There's another situation we're going to talk about in a minute, but so many of them are put in a position that they are become overnight superstars, right? So I'm sure a lot of them were highly celebrated in their hometown, but it goes from your hometown to the world, right? And so and it seems like a lot of them are having difficulty handling that, specifically this young man, James Pierce, whose career could be in a bad place right now.
Yeah, he's in a very tough spot. It's been reported that last Saturday in South Florida, he was charged with 5 felonies. It was 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, which is his car. If reports, let me just get to the thing and I'll get to that. But battery with a deadly weapon and aggravated stalking, fleeing from police and evading the police. And allegedly what happened was he's tied to WNBA star Rakita Jackson. They went to college together in Tennessee from year 2022 to 24. And she made it abundantly clear to him that she no longer wants to have any communications or interactions with him. And she went to the extent of even blocking him. Right. And so as men, we all know that means, she's serious.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how it happened, but they end up being in the same place at the same time, which Pierce approached her, and she again said, "No, I don't want nothing to do with you." He got into his vehicle when she got in her vehicle, and he crashed his vehicle into her vehicle.
Wow.
So you already know he's not operating in a very sane, logical, rational mind state. Things we do for love is something to maybe bring up in a weird way as well. But it's a very serious charge. You're talking about 5 felonies. Again, he was evading police, he was resisting arrest, and his lawyer, I want to also say though, the lawyer, says that he is innocent. And so I just don't know. At the end of the day, too. I mean, what else is he gonna say? You know what I'm saying? What else is he gonna say?
True.
But also what's reported is that Miss Jackson, she's willing to testify against him, which I think that's very damning. For those who don't know, he's a rookie for the Atlanta Falcons. He did have an incredible year. I want to say that. He was drafted first round this past May in 2025 in the first round. He had a fully guaranteed contract, 4 years, $16 million, 8.8 million was his signing bonus, which he got up front. So when you have a signing bonus, you get that, after the ink dries, basically it gets a direct deposit into your account. So he had received that, right away once he signed that contract. But the fact that she's willing to testify against him in court, it tells that she's very unsafe and she has legitimate concerns for her safety. Otherwise, usually, it's typically will find itself in civil court at some juncture.
Well, it's interesting that she's an athlete as well, and that may make her responses a little different, to the average woman who's dealing with a man. If she's be quiet, you'll give some money, don't testify against me. But if you got your own money and your own team, then the response may be a little different.
And I think too, real quick, Christal, I think this is important to highlight and illuminate as well, is the fact that in this day and age, the fact that these two athletes, these are standout athletes at Tennessee. Rakita's from Detroit, but she was a standout at Tennessee, University of Tennessee, and then which she was like the 4th overall pick in the WNBA draft in 2024, again with the Los Angeles Sparks. This is a new athlete, both men and women, because this influx of money that they all have now, these athletes are leaving said university or colleges 6, 7, 8 figures of financial resources at their disposal. So it's a different mindset than what we grew up with. So I think that's important to note. This is a new day and age. So that just also something I think was worth mentioning. Just while we're reporting about this.
No, I definitely agree, and I think that's gotta be, that's gotta be dangerous in some ways if there's not a team in place that can help you manage that. We got a couple more stories, so I want to go to the next one here. Former NFL first-round linebacker Darren Lee was charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence in the death of his girlfriend in Ottawa, Tennessee. A judge has ordered him held without bond, and prosecutors say the case could be eligible for the death penalty. A shocking fall from grace for the once promising Jets draft pick. Whoa. and again, another one with women, right? It just seems like there's imbalance of, I mentioned last week when we were first talking about the last story, I saw Bill Bellamy doing a comedy special, and he says, a lot of times men are not taught to handle their emotions. And so when you take a man who has not been taught to handle his emotions from the time he was young, and you put him in this super, position of becoming a celebrity overnight, just all of a sudden, anything you want, you can have. I mean, millions of dollars deposited in your bank account one day after you sign has got to be mentally a little bit unsettling, even though we all look at it like money can solve issues. These situations are proving that they cannot. And I'm wondering, I think to what Bill Bellamy spoke about, and I've even seen Deion Sanders talk to young players about the need to be in therapy and to have some mentorship with these young men who are put in this pressure cooker and seem to be really fumbling the ball, no pun intended, actually pun intended, but this young man, his life is literally could be taken. I mean, he took someone's life and he could be up for the death penalty, and that's never really been. This is the first time that the situation would be at this level of punishment. What is your take on that?
Horrible, extremely disturbing, worst case scenario ever imaginable. I think with this Darren Lee situation, I want to be abundantly clear. This is separate from the NFL. This is separate. Yes, he's an athlete, but this is a decision that he made. And I think that it's really important to talk about, mental health and also emotional intelligence, right? I think it's just being an athlete, being able to perform at a high level is one thing. Being able to receive compensation given a performance that you displayed at the collegiate level into the pros is another thing as well. But for him to make that decision to end that young lady's life, that is a Darren Lee situation that has nothing to do with being an athlete, has nothing to do with the NFL. That is just a young man who has not equipped himself with the tools in life or in relationships to be able to walk away. I think if there's one Harlan commonality that in a message I want to send out to people is that maybe they're not accustomed to being told no, right? But this thing right here has to be an isolated situation. This is the lowest of low. This is the unimaginable. This is frighteningly horrible that somebody will make that decision when there's other women. We have to keep saying that. There are other women.
Do you think CTE
women out here, man? And I just think that being told no or rejection, things like that, I agree that they have to acquire tools to be able to handle that. Go cry at home, go take a trip, go eat ice cream, something. Go find somebody that you can pour your heart out to and get through that. I think that's what's really bothersome, and I think that's the message that I want to make sure it pierces through, no pun intended, for any athlete that's out there listening, is that you have to have that type of support system, and you have to have that person. It doesn't have to be a group of people, but you got to be able to have a person you could call to just be unapologetically honest about where you're at in life, so somebody can help.
Do you think CTE plays a part in all of this? I mean, because, you know, you play ball when you were like in Pee Wee League, going up to, you know, high school, college, and then NFL. So you think at some point some of these athletes experience CTE, and then that probably could be a part of their mental stability, because we know this is a mental health crisis right now.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in the James Pierce Jr. situation with the attorney.
Yeah.
That might be a plausible defense on some levels. Just getting out of that, because that's the 5 felonies is nothing to play with, especially when you have somebody willing to testify against you. I think, Victor, what it all boils down to, something that Christal alluded to earlier. So it is about, you want to say therapy, you just want to be able to equip yourself with the tools to identify triggers, to more importantly be able to regulate your emotions, to be able to understand what's happening in real time and make sound, rational decisions. And most importantly, a lot of times the remedy, walk away, you know. But I know CTE is a buzzword, and especially when it's attached to behaviors that we can't really understand, and it's just horrible in both these situations. But that Darren Lee, I can't be abundantly clear of that. That's an isolated situation. That's like that is goons, thugs, and, you know, no good brothers out here in their rawest form, right, quite frankly. But we still got to pray for that brother. You know, he's still not absolved for some type of love and redemption on some level. But I think with respect to the CTE, I mean, it's something to consider. But I think that these are just terrible decisions at a very, very bad time.
Quick question. Does the NFL, being that you're inside the NFL before or now, even now, does the NFL provide any type of like support system for mental issues when you get signed, or do you have like a team assigned to your team that helps with a therapist? Maybe go see a therapist if you have problems with, you know, your mental health, or here's a financial advisor. Do they assign those things when you get the deal, or you get?
Yeah, especially if you're getting an $8 million dollar signing bonus, I would just assume if I feel like you're worth this to my team, I would also want to make sure that you're okay, because you are now my investment. He is a big part of the Atlanta Falcons investment moving forward with this team, and Lord knows we need help. Do you believe, and from your own experience, that there are enough I guess, like fail safes put in place to help these young men that are, and young women, you know, at this point, to your point earlier, that are being given these huge sums of money? Because I would think, just like you would insure their physical body, right, that you also would need to provide some support to their overall health, mental and physical health, just to make sure that your investment is protected.
Yeah, to answer your question, both of your questions, absolutely. There's resources that are available for a variety of different real life situations, mental health therapy, suicide, to financial advisors. All of those resources are absolutely available. And then also just about, what are your relationships with your teammates? Not that everything is always sound and strong and stuff like that, but again, it's just so imperative that you can identify a few people, or even people in your positions, somebody that you could confide in, and let them know what's going on. Because again, when you're talking about women, that's something that, you know, is spoke about very often. It's like, that's commonplace dialogue, you know, in the locker room. Obviously, if you're going to the direction that these two brothers went, maybe you keep that quiet, right? But
Yeah.
I do think it's important to note, yes, the NFL or said team franchise, in this case the Atlanta Falcons, you know, yes, they do provide these type of resources. However, they're not entirely responsible for everything that you
Right.
do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There has to be some sort of a demarcation line where, hey, we provide you with all the resources that you can, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to make decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And that's where individual development, individual decisions, what's your core values, who are you, how you wired, and things like that.
Yeah.
That's not even vetted out when you scout and things like that. That's something that, you know, once you place in that environment, once you have the money, once you're performing, again, with the James Pierce situation, he had a phenomenal rookie year. He was going to be an integral part in the Atlanta Falcons defense. No mistake about it. He was on a trajectory, or is on a trajectory, of being an all-pro player. But I do understand that if you wasn't in that lifestyle, if you don't know what happens in the locker room or at that level, because only like 1, 2, 3% of people are fortunate to, you know, have that type of experience. The money's the money. You know what I mean? So it's like, you get slotted, whatever. He was 24th pick draft, so that money's already slotted. You know, it's a thing like that. And then it's just about you being able to be financially responsible, having a management, having people to advise you about your money, or some people just do it themselves, right? So I just think you know, it's important to note.
Yeah. One last sports story. Had quite a few this week, so we're happy to have an expert with us. This we're going to switch to basketball. The Dallas Mavericks traded 10-time All-Star Anthony Davis and to the Washington Wizards in a major NBA deal. Sources say they completed the trade without consulting Davis or his agent Rich Paul beforehand. This move highlights Houston area friction around negotiations and signals a shift in Dallas's roster strategy, with the team pivoting towards building around emerging star Cooper Flag. The Mavericks dealt Anthony Davis along with guards D'Angelo Russell, Jaden Hardy, and Dante Exum to the Washington Wizards in a large multiplayer, multi-asset transaction. In return, Dallas received future draft picks and financial flexibility, which is a part of a broader roster reshaping strategy. I feel like how can they do that without communicating with the player or his agent?
They don't need permission from no agent or player to move a player. That's the player, to use that word, is their property. They're under contract with that player.
It's a courtesy.
The representative is supposed to, you know, operate with the fiduciary responsibility of the player, right? The best interest of the player. But as far as if a team needs to move a player, they don't need that. If I wanted to be completely ridiculous and emotional, I could say that the Dallas Mavericks tired of Rich Paul and Anthony Davis. He came here, he got hurt, and we gave up, our prized possession in Luka Doncic, and
he stayed hurt.
That was still the most idiotic trade in sports history. Is going to go down as one of the most foolish trades ever committed. But in all seriousness, I mean, I think Anthony Davis has demonstrated that he has legitimate injury concern. He's legitimately an injury
risk.
He's a liability, and so he's on his final days, so he can't give you the type of production that his talent warrants on any long-term basis, because he's not dependable or reliable to sustain health for an entire seagoing I do think that also, just because how dominant the rookie Cooper Flag is in Dallas, they're going to revamp that whole team around Cooper Flag. So that was one of the big pieces that they had to move. I do foresee at some point in the future Kyrie Irving will be traded within the next couple of years as well. Wow. Depending on their relationship with Cooper Flag or not. But that's just something that removes a big number off the books. So now that allows them to acquire new talent for them to move forward in the future. So and Anthony Davis, he's getting up there. So it's not surprising at all that happened, and I think he's probably going to move on from the Wizards as well.
Wow, that's pretty sad. Wow, his career, he's always been injured in all his whole career. When he's injured, he's really when he's hot, he's hot. When he's cold, he's cold. No, I don't know. He came in as a real strong prospect. He got signed, and ever since he got signed, he's been injured on the injured list. He reminds me of what's the one from the Pelicans? I forget his name. The athlete from the Pelicans, the main.
Oh, Zion Williams.
Zion Williams, same thing. Just can't seem to get out his way. I don't know what the problem is. Great athlete.
Yeah, I think the best and worst thing that happened to Anthony Davis, he was elected to the top 75 greatest players in NBA history.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was very premature. His career doesn't reflect that accolade.
Does not.
And so even when he was traded from the Pelicans to the Lakers with LeBron, with the blessings of Rich Paul and LeBron and everybody at that particular time, it was with the understanding and expectation that LeBron will concede to the number 2 spot and Anthony Davis will advance to the number 1 spot. But as we keep lamenting, that never took place. Yeah. And
never.
As you can see, LeBron's still there and Anthony Davis is not.
Wow.
Well, Jamal, we appreciate your insight on the sports and definitely look forward to having you back. I do want you to stay on, if you can, for this last commentary that we have. We're going to go back to just what's happening in pop culture. We also, I don't know if you saw, but HGTV has canceled Rehab Addict after host Nicole Curtis was caught on video using a racial slur. The network removed the show from all platforms and condemned the language. Curtis apologized, expressing regret. The long-running home renovation series ends permanently. HGTV responded immediately, and I watched the clip, Victor, and she was doing something, painting up on a ladder, and she used the N-word in regards to something, not about a person, but in a derogatory way. And so
she was almost talking to herself.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
It was definitely not, but and she immediately said, "Can you cut that? Can you?" She recognized what she had said, and she asked the cameraman to cut it. I don't know how the clip got leaked, but
that's weird.
What do you all think of HGTV responding so quickly? We were talking about how a lot of people have been named in these Epstein files, and a lot of the movement is not as quick. But when it comes to racial, specifically that term, most companies that want to continue, HGTV has a very squeaky clean image and a morally upstanding network. They immediately removed her. Do we think that in this climate, that's fair? Is it fair for her to, because the show is not just, they canceled it permanently. They didn't say we're going to wait to see. No, you're done. You're absolutely career over.
I think however it's problematic, however way you look at it, right? I do think it was innocent, but I also think that was not clearly, but you could make the case that's just something, that's how she responds, like privately, right? It's out of your heart a person speaks. I just think however you slice this is a bad habit, and unfortunately it just happened at the worst time. I don't think she meant anything by this, but it's just like, why is that on your mind? Right? Is legit. And so that's what makes it problematic. And then on a professional level, you just can't do that on air. You just can't do it on air. I mean, it's just, there's no other way of dancing around it or saying it. You just can't do it then at that time.
Right.
And so the fact that she had that knee-jerk reaction of, hey, cut that. She knew it was wrong. She knew it was guilty. But I do applaud and agree with HDTV canceling the show. But as always, as time goes on, I fully expect her to bounce back, and she'll get another show somewhere down the line on another channel, because if the ratings were as fantastic as the ratings have shown, and you could see some of the outpour in response to the show getting canceled, then that means there's value there. And so there's opportunity for redemption. And I think she'll bounce back sometime in the future.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things I want to look at, right? So did she say that all the time on her shows? I haven't watched her show, but is there any type of, I mean, not for the show, but in filming, is this her normal language, right? And is there anyone on the show that behind the scenes are probably tired of her being that way? Because how did it get leaked? And then the other part too is maybe the network is doing a house cleaning of shows, and that's a reason to get rid of her too, because you've been on for 11 to 15 years and we want to get a new startup type of shows, a new type of show coming in. So we want to get rid of you. So we found a way to get you off the, just while going through your edits and filming, we caught you slipping up on saying what you normally would say, and boom, we got you. And so, that's how I look at it, because we would never have known that had it not come out from an inside, because that's filming, and you go through edits and changes and script writing and whatever. So somebody on the inside either was tired of her, and the network was probably like, we need to, change directions, because they also canceled a whole bunch of other shows too.
They did, and I did hear
on that network.
I did hear they were kind of moving in a new direction. I heard that just recently. I think a lot of networks. I think what we see is, to the business side of it, a lot of networks that have a traditional cable setup, right?
Yeah,
things are changing with streaming. So the business side of it is that a lot of networks are looking for things, and we all have learned that. I think if you go through if you're with people behind the scenes, whether it's an athlete, personality, an actor, you're going to be able to find something that can make that person look bad, right?
Of course, yeah.
But I also think, so I do understand your point about the business, Victor, but I agree that whoever was there, somebody wanted to get that out. Had a motive to leak that was felt some type of way towards her, because that could be career. It has the potential to be career ending depending on how she handles it. I think about Paula Deen. We've never heard from Paula Deen again, right? Now, even her, she had an amazing restaurant in Savannah that I used to enjoy. That ended her career. Now, I think even there was I can't think of the guy's name, played Kramer on Seinfeld, ended his career. Right. Depending on how it's handled, it definitely has the ability to put a bad taste in people's mouths, and they will move on from you, because there's so much more talent, there's so much going on. So I think there had to be something to that. But I guess I'm wondering, like, you know, because I've worked behind the scenes, you know, all of us have in a certain capacity in entertainment or sports. And I just, while I don't like to see a white woman using that word, it's very unsettling. But if you were hanging out with me and my friends, I'm sure, even behind the scenes, you know, because when you're on a show, we shot Second Chance Love in Italy for a month, right? Chili and Matthew and 10 cast members. I'm certain, and I'm not saying anything was said, but I'm certain if a camera was on people all the time, because they were shooting for the majority of the days, because we were there for such a short period of time, I'm sure you could have gotten something that someone would say that would have insulted someone's culture or gender, right? Or something. So at what point should a person lose their career? Is that type of word enough? And if that's the case, then we have to be, would it have happened if it was reversed? If someone said, this cracker's in here doing that, would someone lose their position over a slur against a white person or a Hispanic person? You know, I wonder if that word has more power to end careers than other racial insults, is my question to both of you.
I think it's comfortability. Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead, Victor.
No, go ahead, Victor.
No, I think it's a comfortability. You get comfortable. You've been on the air for 15 years, so you get comfortable saying, and this is my family. I can be comfortable saying what I have to say. So I'll speak naturally. I'm in character. This is me naturally. So I'll speak and I'll say whatever. And what comes out my mouth, it comes out, and then we'll edit it later on. I'm sure if we pull 15 years of tape, you probably will find something there, you know. Not this. This wasn't the first time, you know. This has been naturally something that, you know, you do. It seemed like it was a blunder, like she just, you know, something she says, because you don't, like, if you bump your foot, you will say ouch or oh my goodness. It was one of those type of things. So
I've never heard that word used that way. I was like, oh wow.
I know, but but that's privilege, right? So there you go. You know, that's my take.
Yeah, it was a natural response. That's like you said, like an ouch or something, like a fudge, like somebody say, fudge or something like
exactly,
that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But again, the thing that makes it problematic is, why is that the wording, right? Because why is it so top of mind? What are you thinking about, right? Because it was that euphorian thing where you're thinking about something, you say something versus what you mean to say. But so however you slice and dice it, right, it's problematic. And it's a you know, it's not a good thing. But I think with respects to your question directly, Christal, I don't think the three of us are qualified to answer that question. It's like a fish, you know, trying to describe the water that they swim in, because I think we need to hear from somebody that's not Black. You know what I mean?
But do you think? Do you guys think that if we were at a comedy show this past weekend, we went to do the Pan-African Film Festival Comedy Soul Show. Tony Rock was the host, and actually there's Tommy Davidson made a joke, as race is a big part of comedy, right? So he made a joke about how white people interact with animals compared to Black people, and he was saying, you know, you could have a dog that was about to, just paraphrasing the joke, a dog about to bite a white woman, and she'll just be like, oh, the dog is so sweet, and the dog is like, I'm about to back you up, like I'm about to mess you up. The dog is getting, you know, white people respond differently to animals. Like if it's a Black person, like I ain't playing with your dog, you know, just a different. But in that comedy, if that clip, and I don't know, we call white women Karens and different things, but if there is a racial slur towards another race, white or, like I said, other race, that is said by a person that is not white, would there be the same swift and like shock to media? You know, if you heard a term like, I don't even want to use a term now because I don't want people to see the show and be like, put her off, get her off YouTube, she's saying stuff, but know the type of slurs I'm talking about for people that are not. If a Black person says a slur about someone that is of another race, would that cause backlash in the same way?
Yeah, well, in Tommy Davidson's situation, it's different for a number of reasons. Number one, you still got to give the freedom and license of being in a comedy environment and allow the comics to share their perspective on a world, in a humorous, healthy way. I think also contextually with Tommy Davidson, he was adopted by white people.
He lived in a white family, yeah.
So there's not a better person, well, not better person.
White behavior.
He's qualified to show that juxtaposition of both races. So I think in this isolated again incident or example, like I think he's justified of delivering that joke however he sees fit. Now, at the end of the day, funny's funny. If it ain't funny, it ain't funny. You know what I mean? But just off of what you detailed, he has full license to share his comedy.
Victor, what do you think?
But that's it. But in context, he's on a stage. He's telling a story. He's giving an example of something. He's not out speaking regularly or whatever the case is. This is like in context. You know what I'm saying? So, I agree that he has license to do that because he's telling a story on stage and he's not using racial slurs. He's telling a story. This is how this group reacts versus this group. You know what I'm saying? So it's still a little bit different. But I was looking up earlier, and HGTV is owned by Warner, and we know Warner right now is going through a big buyout with the network. So
Victor on that business, man. Victor on his business.
because in reality, that's what it comes down to, the money. You know what I'm saying? Is this going to hurt our money? Because if this was not going to hurt the money, then it would have been like, no, we'll bury this and we'll figure out a way. We'll get all of the press behind her and we'll, whatever. But no, this is about the money. And so I think on that level, it got squashed. But we saw a lot of shows being canceled. We've seen a lot of journalism under attack. We've seen a lot of recently in the news too. A couple of people from CBS stepped down from their journal positions and whatever. So it's a big shakeup happening across the board when it comes to media and film and television and sports, and it's just a big shakeup happening. So
it is, especially with everything politically happening. But that is a good point. I forgot about that. That you do always have to consider what is the financial bottom line that runs everything, and I think that is why. Although we know this is Black History Month, we have made a decision here at Lenox Parker to continue to support and promote Black businesses throughout the year, because that dollar is what counts. That is what moves. That is what changes policies and puts people in different positions. So I agree. It was definitely a situation that HGTV didn't even want to. We can't afford to even.
No, they can't. Yes, they can.
Imagine a lawsuit, and then they're tied up in court with we'll mess up the whole deal.
And then it's a lot. It's a lot going on. We gotta stay squeaky clean right now.
Real quick, I think Christal and Victor, you could appreciate this. Speaking of Atlanta, Black history and everything like that. I don't know if I should say the name. I went to a popular Atlanta lounge. Okay. I don't want to say the name. No names, no blame. Anyway, bad enough already in Atlanta, you got to deal with sections. Okay. Which just like destroyed the whole outing experience, in my opinion. I see something that's even worse in the section part. So customarily, when I enter any restaurant, house, any building, I always go to the bathroom, wash my hands. So I went into the lounge, went in the bathroom, and I seen the line, right? So it's a unisex line. But the thing that was so disturbing, they had a bench against the wall so people could sit down to wait to use the bathroom.
What?
Where are we going? How lazy? How convenient? No, that's not a good business.
I don't know.
Objecting to overcoming objection or whatever like that, adjustment. Like, that is an awful idea. How lazy do you want your people to be?
Is there one bathroom?
There's 3 doors.
3 doors.
There's 3 doors on the left.
3 doors.
But but you know how like there's a line against the wall, like you have been seeing it since 88. You know what I'm saying? So you got a line of 20, 10, 15, whatever, and people just wait their turn to use the bathroom. They installed a bench.
Hey, maybe people get tired when it's standing up,
Victor, don't do that. Victor, do not bail him out. That's lazy.
I want to say, Jamal, that I, as a woman, often if we have on heels, okay, we may need to take a seat. And if they're
okay, is there a science between sitting down and standing up when it comes to waiting to? Because if you sit down, right, does the urge to use the bathroom really go away? Or if you stand up, wait, if you're waiting in line, if you're sitting down,
our anatomy is different. So if
we, I'm gonna be quiet once she said that.
I'm saying when it comes to sitting down, and does sitting down pause the urge to go really quick, or standing up? Which one? And that could be a scientific.
Down does, but I would assume in that situation, because I know what lounge you're talking about. I think, women. If first of all, I don't, if there's a line to use the bathroom, there probably needs to be some. Y'all didn't figure out how to add some more bathrooms.
Exactly, I'm with you, Christal.
Deal with that, but if there is a line, I do appreciate a bench, because when women, we it's not going to change. We wear the heels because we know the response that the heels are going to get. They look nice with the dresses. I don't think the gentlemen want us to remove the heels. I think they want us to keep them on. And I do.
Yeah, we do.
So just consider, Jamal, there are women that are standing. And if you're standing in one place, because Victor, we were at the comedy show this weekend. Victor, you helped me down the stairs. I was like, okay, now these shoes, they were very cute. They're comfortable. They had a limit of 4 hours, a 4-hour limit. And at that end of that 4 hours, the shoes were like, ma'am, we're done. And so at that point, I was uncomfortably trying to get back to the car. But if you got to use the bathroom, you got to stand, and the heels have timed out.
Yeah.
I understand that. I've been hearing that for 35 years, so I understand. Again, once a woman says something, I just thought that was interesting, and I had to, because I see you two, so you glowing and everything. I wanted to see what y'all thought about that, because that was my first time seeing that. Seeing it.
No, we gotta have comfort. But as we talked about earlier, this is Valentine's Day weekend. We appreciate you hanging out with us today, Jamal. This has been fun. What are your plans?
Thank you.
Any plans in the A for this weekend of love?
Yes, I do. It's not gonna be like the traditional restaurant stuff like that. I'm probably gonna end up just cooking.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
there you go.
Because just been eating a lot, and I'm on my weight thing. Get my body back. So
back in the gym.
Yeah. This is so I started at 291 2 weeks ago. Right now I'm at 285. The goal is to get down to 260. And right now I'm in training to race my 6-year-old nephew on his birthday, February 26th. So he said what he wants for his birthday is to beat me in a race.
Okay, hey, you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah.
So now I'm Victor, hold on. I'm not letting no 6-year-old beat me, Victor.
You got your work cut out for you.
Beat me, man.
In your mind, but
I don't even know if he's been living for more than 1,000 days. You think he's gonna beat me in a race?
Listen, in your mind, but your knees. Your knees are different right now.
I was in the pool this morning at Lifetime.
You better stretch. You better stretch.
We only gonna do 20 yards. They don't know distance and all that.
Okay.
I'm gonna get off the line fast, and by the time he's already revved up, it's over.
Okay.
And he only gonna get once a year. I'm going 100%. I'm going 100%.
Jamal,
if he beat me, he really gonna have to beat me.
Jamal, why won't you let, if he, think about the confidence that you could put in your nephew if he beats his uncle, who was a star football player, a pro football player, and he beats you, that could propel him to become an even bigger football player, because beating his uncle, who is his hero, is going to definitely up his confidence. So I think
I agree, but as you know in life, Christal and Victor, nothing is given, everything is earned.
Okay.
They didn't just give me the starting role on the teams and everything. I had to earn that. I had to beat some people out. And I think it's way more better when you say I beat Uncle Ma, and it's real. It really happened. Like I can't beat him. And I'm 45, so I probably got like 6-7 more years. So my goal pertaining to him, and I got 3 other nephews too, is let them at least get to high school before they beat me. I can't have no junior high or elementary kid beat me in a race. I just can't do it. My heart can't do it.
Victor, he still has that athlete's pride. He can't.
He's gonna have that. He's gonna have that for forever. That ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And I still got the power and speed and strength.
Okay.
I still got something, Victor. I still could jump 40 inches. I still could. Victor, if you disrespect me, you're running away. I bet you I'll catch you. Suddenly, like they say in the Bible, suddenly. If I'm with Christal and somebody did something to Christal and they try to get away, I bet you I'll catch you. And then I'm going to have to put them paws on you. And then y'all going to have to do a report about former Atlanta Falcons wide receiver.
That is hilarious.
Oh, my goodness.
Victor stays in the gym, and he's that's.
I try. So,
one of these days, Victor. After Valentine's Day, later on this month, early March, when I get back, we should come to Lifetime.
Well, Victor is in LA, but the next time Victor comes to Atlanta,
when I come in town,
comes to Atlanta, we definitely
we'll get Christal in the gym too. We'll do a training session, a 1-day workout.
You know what? We will do that. I'm down. I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down. So yes, we do the show. We are 9 a.m. on the West Coast, which is Victor, and then of course I'm here in Atlanta. Hopefully, Jamal, you can come back and give us sports commentaries on Friday. We would love to have you do that if you're able.
Yeah, absolutely. Just let me know what it is, and I'll make sure I'm available. But this was fun.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
You.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks, Jamal.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Take care.
Okay, have a good weekend. All right.
All right. Well, that was fun. I hope we can add a little sports to our Fridays. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
For the reprint. Victor, well, good show. We'll be back on Monday morning. Hopefully the weekend is quiet.
Oh, tell me, I gotta do it. I need to regroup.
Yeah.
Get outside, the sun's coming, the sun's out. Oh yeah. So you left and the sun's out now. So
because when I got to LA, it was raining the entire time. Raining the entire time, and I'm back, and of course it's nice. But it's okay because I'm back home, happy to be back home in my studio and not in that crazy hotel with the gloomy light. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you go over to LenoxandParker.com where we have commentary, and we have more that will be uploaded this weekend from our wonderful time with the Pan-African Film Festival Soul Comedy Show. Also, all the stories that we talked about, you can find them. You'll be able to find find them on our site. So make sure that you go to the site and subscribe. Make sure that you subscribe here so you get our notifications. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. on the West Coast.
Yes.
Here on the East Coast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on Monday.
Peace out.
It's 12 noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West.
And this is Reprint.
This isn't breaking headlines. This is a second look with context added for perspective.
This is Reprint, edited after the headlines.